Bachelor Nation, will you accept this rose? We love you. Love is in the air.
It's magic.
'Cause love is on the air.
On TV.
So love is on the air.
Podcast.
It's a podcast.
Podcast.
Love is in the air.
It's magic.
'Cause love is on the air.
On TV.
So love is on the air.
A
It's a
podcast.
podcast. Andy, Liv, Sarah, and Glenn. Bachelor Pod, it's the Bachelor Pod. It's a podcast about the Bachelor.
The Bachelor Pod starts now.
And welcome back to another episode of the Bachelor Pod.
Woohoo!
Ooh, that was very enthusiastic.
Hey, I'm carrying the voice of two missing people here.
That's right, Andy and Sarah are MIA again. I was about to say that again, but that's not entirely true.
No,
because
Sarah was not here last week, and now they both are not here.
they're both not here because they've got busy schedules. And the Bachelor in Paradise franchise is a big commitment because there's 4 hours of it a week.
Yeah, wall-to-wall Bachelor in Paradise, and frankly, I'm getting a little sick of it.
Yeah, they work days, or we work days, they work evenings. It's really hard to schedule this. Usually we're in a sweet spot, but we've been busy bees, all of us. And this show has been a real trying time.
Yeah, I gotta say, these 2 episodes this week were brutal.
I had a hard time. Monday, I had a hard time staying awake. I was just pretty sleepy. And then Tuesday, I was just fucking pissed off.
Oh, yeah. Like, at this point, I feel like it would have been a better decision for ABC to not have gone ahead and rushed to film a 10-day long season of this. It's just too much filler, too much crap.
Yeah, they're the holes in it and like the short shooting schedule are showing through like what's a good analogy? Is anybody's nipples poking out?
Janet Jackson. I don't
Janet
know.
Jackson?
You
She's
said
not on the
nipple
show.
poking out. You said an analogy.
Yeah, I was going to use a show analogy though.
I don't know.
Is
I'm
anyone's-
not an improviser.
Oh, maybe like Dean's dick.
Sure.
In that scene where he had a boner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's like.
That's pretty much what it's like.
Yeah.
And this was also the episode, or at least Tuesday's episode, was the long-awaited interview with Corinne Olympios, which was a huge letdown. I don't know why we thought it would offer us anything but bullshit, but yeah, it was total crap. And now, so this is week 3, 2 episodes a week, 2 hours an episode. So that's 12 hours of Bachelor in Paradise, and there's been 2 rose ceremonies.
Yep.
Like,
2 rose ceremonies.
that's shit. At the end of Monday's episode, when it was clear or becoming clear that they weren't going to do a rose ceremony and they were just dragging that cocktail party, that's really when I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was the final straw. Not that I'm going to stop watching.
I would, real talk, I would love to just stop watching. I would love nothing more than to just pretend this season is not happening and just start fresh in January. Is that when The Bachelor starts?
Well, we got Bachelor in Canada, too.
That's true.
so-
No, I do want to watch that, but
Thankfully, Daniel showed up. Daniel McGuire, our homeboy. Is that right? Our homeboy? No, our national treasure, our local legend. He showed up. And
he's our bud.
To me, he kind of represents everything that Paradise should be, where he was looking at all women objectively. All he wants to do is screw. And he almost like didn't mesh with the tone of the rest of the show, which is like bullshit.
Yeah, he's always been the good time guy, and there's been other people who've come in after the shutdown, although I don't really know how that works, because I kind of slightly off topic here outside of Daniel, but I remember Raven was talking about the encounter during the shutdown with Adam and Sarah hadn't even been introduced yet, as far as we knew.
I got a feeling they all were in holding something in
so you
Dallas
think
or whatever.
all, I don't know, 30 of them or however many there are, were all in holding then?
Probably, yeah, because I'm sure I would assume that the producers would be like, oh, now's a good time to bring in Daniel. Now's a good time to bring in Sarah. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? It's always pretty strategic, I think.
Yeah.
Rather than have them just be at home and be like, okay, here's your schedule. Here's
Yeah,
where
I
you're
guess
coming in.
I never
Because
stopped
it
to
would be
think
pretty
about
shit
it.
also to be the person who's like, okay, here's the schedule. You're the last person coming in and you're going to be there for a night.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
that sucks. You wouldn't even want to agree to do it. So,
Well, you probably would anyway for exposure, but
yeah, you'd be more hesitant.
yeah, probably.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I just never stopped to think about that, but that makes perfect sense.
Well, we've always said the show's tough because you don't want to think about that kind of thing, the behind the scenes pulling of strings, but it's just such a big part of analyzing it.
Oh, yeah.
You have to.
And especially with this scandal, it just really broke down the fourth wall.
Yeah, fourth wall.
I was thinking
There are
third
four
wall
walls
for
to a
some
room.
reason, but yes, the fourth wall. So it's really hard not to think of the puppeteers and the strings and the tricks and all of that stuff.
Yeah, so as we do on this podcast, we're going to have to ask your minds to be magically whisked back to Monday night if you remember this episode at all. I don't really remember anything happening.
I don't. I don't remember.
Did they do an in-studio thing that time? I don't even remember. No, they
No,
didn't, right?
that
This was a
was-
straightforward
yeah,
episode.
that was
So how did they
yesterday.
not fit a whatever.
Because they don't have enough material.
Right. Okay, so I think the episode started with Kristen entering. I think
Yeah.
that was the thing that sort of started it off. Kristen, of course, known for being the virgin on Nick's season.
Yeah.
She came in with a fresh pair of titties, and
Seems like most of them did.
yeah, we were talking about it, and it seems like, I mean, I don't want to run through all of them right now,
No,
but
I'd say maybe at least 60%.
Raven, D-Lo,
I guess we are running through all of them.
Maltby,
Maltby,
Kristen, Alexis, Sarah, maybe.
Sarah maybe, hard to tell. So yeah, at least half of them.
Which
hey,
this
man.
day and age, the age of the titty is over, according to the news. There was some article a couple weeks
That's
ago. That was
true.
like, millennials prefer butts. So
But you wouldn't know that based on the Bachelor in Paradise franchise.
yeah.
Boobs are big there.
Boobs
still.
are big, boobs are back. And actually, most of them have very tasteful jobs.
That's
I'd say
true.
with the exception of Alexis, who went a bit too big.
I'd say they fit her personality though.
That's true. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. So in terms of Kristen, there's a bit of cognitive dissonance between being a virgin and having fake cans.
Yeah.
A little. If you're to take boobs as being a beacon of sex, which not all women do, or should they?
No, they shouldn't.
But in any case, she's back. She looked pretty good, actually.
She did, yeah.
And we really didn't get to know her very well in Nick's season. So this
No,
was
I
like
just remember her running with that gossip. What was her name? Liz, who had like banged Nick at Jade and Tanner's wedding.
yeah, that's
and she,
right.
Liz
Forgot
confessed to
about that.
I can't believe I remember this. Liz confessed to Kristen, and she was like just bursting with glee and went and told everybody. I think she told everybody. Anyway,
Yeah, I believe she did.
that
tell
was her
everybody.
claim to fame. I guess that's all I remember.
So she's back. Whether or not you like it, I don't know. I was very neutral on her, but she gets there and Jasmine immediately tells her to go date Jack Stone because obviously she wants to throw her off the scent of Matt,
Yeah.
who she had already claimed as essentially a husband. So Kristen goes around kind of speed dating everyone, trying to check things out. And Matt was all for it.
Oh, yeah, he came up to her. Well, I mean, again, could be a trick, but it looked like he was interested and came up to her, and she asked him. He said yes, and he should have known that Jasmine would lose her mind, but I guess he was ready to move on.
Yeah, I think maybe he was like, all these people I think know who's coming.
Yeah.
That seems to be clear. So maybe he was looking forward to meeting Kristen, and maybe in his mind's like, well, look, this Jasmine thing is crumbling before my eyes. Kristen's here. Maybe I should try Kristen. If things don't go well, I'm out of here. Because he left seemingly so abruptly, right?
Yeah, I understand why he left. Spoiler. Although I don't know why you wouldn't have watched these episodes and then listened to this pod. But yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I'm not sure. It was a good call for him to leave, though. And you're right. I mean, they don't necessarily know the order of the new people coming in, but they know who they are. So maybe he knew, hey, I'm not into the twins. I'm not into the other women that are coming. So if Kristen doesn't work out, that's it.
Yeah. No, I don't remember even what happened on their date. The dates have been so not even.
Oh man, this
I
date
guess
was
they're
like
dates by definition, but it's more like we'll go to a restaurant around the corner, we'll order you guys 2 drinks, and then we'll be back in half an hour.
yeah, they devoted I think 2 minutes of screen time to this date.
I don't even. It went well, right? Did they kiss?
Yeah,
I
think so.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember any details. Because meanwhile, Jasmine was beginning to go nuts. Like
she did the
on
classic,
The Bachelor.
like, oh, go on a date, whatever. I'm not worried. How dare she? That bitch.
Yeah, and then started, I don't know if it was at this point, doesn't really matter since we're on the topic, the infamous scallop fingers story.
Oh, this was just classic mean girl shit. Like,
yeah, there was a lot of backlash after for it being bullying and for ABC embracing it. I didn't see it as bullying so much as it was just stupid.
I mean, if Kristen, I think they showed in the coming up next week, Kristen finds out about it. But I don't remember seeing anything about her like crying or being really upset. But either way, it's bullying or not, it's just mean. Like,
yeah, here's my analysis. I think that Alexis's drunken story of what got her the name, which is what they all were going to a club. Kristen grabbed scallops to go from some restaurant.
Yep.
She ate them with her hands in a cab or whatever, and then she touched Alexis on the shoulder. Alexis said her shoulder smelled like scallops the rest of the night. Pretty funny story coming from Alexis. That's fine. Sure, you're going to start calling her scallop fingers. But when she gets back, just be like, ha, scallop. Like, why not? Calling it behind her back
Address
is so tacky.
Yeah.
The rule is you call her scallop fingers. If she embraces it, you'll never call her it again.
Exactly.
If she doesn't like it, then you call her that behind her back.
Right. People who have a nickname they don't like, it sticks because you don't like it.
Yeah. Well, my other big problem with it is they were all freaking out about how she ate scallops. Well, first of all, she got scallops to go. Big deal.
Yeah.
You like scallops, and you're at some restaurant, get them to go.
Yeah,
Who
who
cares?
gives a shit?
And eating with her hands,
And if
who
it's
cares?
a drunken night, like, you're gonna eat anything like that.
I'll paw some scallops. Like,
Sure.
Why not?
I'll lick my fingers. I don't care.
They actually do make good finger food. It's not completely... It would be weirder if it was like she ordered a steak and then ate it with her hands. Yeah. Then it would be like, whoa, that's weird. Steak hands.
She just had a steak in her teeth.
Yeah, exactly, like a dog. But yeah, I just didn't think that part was that funny. The whole ordering of scallops, then eating them with her hands, I find that irrelevant. The fact that she touched her arm and they smell like scallops, that's kind of funny.
Yeah. It's just the way that it was handled and it spread among the other women and they were making fun of her for it. It just reminded me of classic girl shit. Like how I think this is a joke from Seinfeld, how I think Jerry maybe was asking Elaine how women torment each other, and she said, we just tease them until they develop an eating disorder. And this is like classic.
And this had to do with food too. Talking about eating disorder.
Yeah.
And then ABC propagates it by showing her eating shrimp, calling her scallop fingers.
That was her tag. I mean, I know they're getting really silly with the descriptors this season, like Robbie, social influencer or whatever. But come on, man. Like,
yeah, and it also led to Wells with his stupid puppets. And you know I'm a huge Wells fan. Mm-hmm. I think he's great. I think he's a good guy, and I think he's pretty funny most of the time. But this puppet thing, there was a lot of backlash on social media. I saw Andy and Sarah tweeting, and they were hating it.
Oh, it was terrible. And again, I feel like the producers are like, oh man, we got nothing. Hey, Wells, you're funny. Here you go. Go nuts with these puppets. Something like that.
Something like that.
I hope Wells didn't take it upon himself to do that.
I saw something where he explained it was like him and a producer came up with it. But whatever. I think Wells in this situation give us a little bit, so we want more rather than going full Wells, which again they can't really help because they got to fill the air.
Yeah.
So after they got back from the date, Kristen and Matt, Jasmine told the cameras, ABC, you want some good TV? I'm going to give it to you right now. She didn't really give them good TV. In fact, I don't even remember what happened during this exchange, except that Kristen ends up in tears, right?
She confronted Kristen about, like, oh, you knew I was really into Matt, and you went on a date with him anyway. And Kristen was brushing her teeth and had her mouth full of toothpaste the whole time and looked just nonplussed.
You kept saying, her mouth's full of toothpaste. Her mouth's still full of toothpaste.
Yeah, you weren't looking at the TV.
I wasn't paying any attention.
Yeah, fair enough. But I thought it was pretty funny that she was just kind of, like, standing there taking this. I wouldn't say it was a verbal assault, but just, standing there with a mouthful of toothpaste, like, what?
Yeah, so rough entrance for Kristen. I kind of felt bad for her because later on when she goes on the date with Tickle Monster, they made a good couple and she seems pretty cool. Like,
yeah, she seems fine.
She's pretty young, a little bit annoying, but innocent.
Yeah, I mean, she seems pretty harmless. Jasmine, on the other hand, Jasmine, not my fave. Sometimes she seems fun. Like one of her intro opening credits bit is one of my favorites.
Really funny, yeah.
Yeah,
but she did exactly what we kind of expected based on her performance on The Bachelor, which is she eventually went nuts.
She's just immature and insecure, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's why she does that.
I know it's beating a dead horse saying, well, what did you come on the show for? Like, what did you expect? But I don't know, attaching yourself to Matt like that, pretty bad. Someone else who was attached was Robbie. Robbie's attachment to Amanda, which
great segue.
Kind of faded into the background, and it's fading in the background of this season as a whole, I'd say.
Yeah.
The Robbie Amanda thing.
Because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I mean, she clearly wants to stick around. Maybe she's holding out for somebody else, or she just is sick of her kids or something. But she clearly wants to stick around and doesn't like him that much.
No. And kudos to Robbie for keep going. I mean, eventually he got that kiss, right?
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. He's the type of, like, unnerving dude who just will persist no matter what until maybe they get a restraining order against him. Like, he's just, like, full on... Ooh, too intense.
I also think that social media influencer gag rings actually true because Amanda probably has the biggest Instagram following out of any of these people.
Oh, you think so?
Yes. Well, she's been around the longest,
That's
right?
That's true, yeah.
And she had the whole
The
Josh
women
thing.
Almost always have more, and she's,
You have to double check on that, but so it's no surprise that he's going after her. Although they always seem to think that she's the hottest thing in the world.
I know. Well, they often say, like they said constantly about Tickle Monster, a lot of these people look a lot better in person.
That's true.
So that could be a case with her. I mean, hey, she's pretty.
It's
not that. It's just they go crazy for her.
Yeah. I actually, I got no love for Robbie or Amanda, but Robbie's move to put glow sticks in that hot tub, that was awesome.
That was cool.
And it actually showed him breaking them himself. Yeah. I'm sure he didn't obtain them
No.
himself.
And didn't Amanda or somebody say, did you bring those all the way here? It's like, you're right.
Well, maybe he did.
Maybe he did. Actually, he brought like 100 bathing suits. So, yeah, maybe.
They're probably allowed to bring as much luggage as they want.
That's true.
But that was pretty cool. That move is going to get stolen by a lot of people.
I would want to do that.
Except if one breaks, aren't those things toxic?
Ooh, I don't know.
But
a hot tub, there's so many chemicals and shit. Like, it's fine.
Right.
Just don't bang in there.
Yeah, well, that's not going to stop some people.
That's true.
Hot tubs are where you bang.
Anyway, it was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, there was trouble in paradise with old Peth and Taylor.
Yeah.
Got into a bit of a skirmish, which, again, I was a bit sleepy on, but it seemed to me, I seem to remember it starting when Taylor was saying, whenever you find me annoying, you shut down.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about it.
And she kept trying to get him to talk about it. And I think by him saying, fuck you, it was him, like, saying, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, at first, when she reacted the way she did, I was like, what? Come on. But when she explained herself, I was like, hey, man, fair enough. That's a triggering thing for you. Because, like, as we've alluded to before, around the house, Glenn and I let the expletives fly. And
sure do.
I think we say fuck you to each other all the time.
Yeah.
Not in the way Derek did, but,
Didn't Derek even try to say it was a bit of a joke?
Kind of, but the way he said it was pretty like, fuck you.
I think that was backpedaling.
It was.
I think he knew he was wrong.
So when Taylor explained herself more, I was like, okay, I get where she's coming from, and I can see how she would react that way. Not to say she has to justify it to me, but yeah, I have to admit at first I was like, what? what? What do you care?
Yeah, it actually ended up being a somewhat mature argument.
Yeah.
Taylor mentioned how it's crazy that they, in a new relationship at Paradise, you're spending every day, all day together.
Yeah.
Which I know...
It warps your perspective.
Sometimes that happens in new relationships, I think, but it'll be like, oh, we spent all weekend together.
Yeah,
and
not 24/7.
And even that drives some people nuts, so that was pretty crazy. But I think they ended up okay, right? By the end of this, this 4 hours of Bachelor, they're right back where they should be. And I would imagine they're going to get engaged at the end of this, just for the show.
Of course. I mean, they seem like a decent couple. Like, it's been, what, like 6 days? Well, no, I guess counting the shutdown, it's been a few weeks for them, but it's been less than a month that they've been together, so who knows. But hey, man, if they get engaged, cool. I don't care.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, at this point, it was, and I'm using air quotes here, time for the rose ceremony, unquote. Which actually meant we were just going to have like a half an hour long, it was probably longer than that, I feel like, cocktail party where people had to go work out their shit. Because at this point, what was going on? So Matt had to decide between Jasmine or Kristen.
Mm-hmm.
Adam and Dean, Adam had Raven or Sarah.
Yep.
Dean had
D'Lo or Christina.
Yep. Lacey was freaking out.
Yep.
And that was pretty much it. I think, in terms of controversy.
And at the beginning, I think, of the cocktail party, Chris Harrison alluded to there's always twists in Paradise. So, to the shock of absolutely no one, he brings Daniel in right before the rose ceremony? Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been. But it
was
at the very end.
It was.
When does Matt leave? Somewhere during this, Matt just left. He had totally had enough. Right?
Yeah.
And then he comes back later. If the episodes weren't separated, it would have been no big deal.
We were really drifting in and out of this, and I honestly don't remember when Matt left. He left, he came back, gave Jasmine a pity rose, and then left again. Whatever. Goodbye. Can't remember when that happened.
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay. So whatever. Lacey went nuts. She berated Diggy for some reason. We got to mention that just briefly because that was such a stupid move. You need a rose and you're telling a guy like, fuck you for going out with Dominique. And of course, who does Diggy pick? Dominique.
Of course. Well, that's why she was all butthurt because she's like, you didn't wait even 2 seconds after our date. It's like, what is he going to say? No?
Yeah. So in the end, we'll just skip ahead. Well, I guess Daniel shows up. Thank
Yep.
God.
Oh, I know people are not some people are not huge fans of him, and admittedly I don't like the way he talks about women sometimes, but he's a real bud.
He's a quote machine.
He is.
Every second quote is about sex. But
he's there for the right reasons.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
He's there to get down.
Yeah.
So he got, I guess, this was also frustrating because this was the beginning of episode 2 when we finally just wanted the rose ceremony. And it was like, now, Daniel, you have some time to get to know the women.
And then
so it was like the cocktail party got extended.
He was basically asking the available women, are you DTF?
Yeah, essentially. I loved what he did to Lacey.
Oh.
He just could not guarantee her a rose. And
he's like, well, I got to talk to other people. So.
Yeah, he just said it straight up.
Yep.
I loved it.
I know.
So, when he was talking to Lacey, he's like, she explained who was left. And he's like, oh, yeah, the leftovers, eh?
The scraps, I believe he said.
Love him to death. So finally we had the rose ceremony. Daniel does end up picking Lacey, much to her pleasure. Adam goes for Raven, which puts Sarah in jeopardy. She ends up going.
Yep.
Now Dean picks Christina, which to Christina meant that's it.
Yeah, he's made his decision, which he was already taking forever to make.
And that should be it for D'Lo.
Yeah.
But then Zorn picks D'Lo.
Evil Zorn swoops in and claims D'Lo just for dramatic purposes.
Yeah, meaning,
I don't know.
Alexis is gone.
Yeah.
So Alexis and Sarah got the boot. A lot of people are probably upset about Alexis, although her stock dropped big time after this whole bullying incident. I think a lot of people kind of turned on her there.
And Jasmine, in between the cocktail party and the rose ceremony, would not shut up about Kristen and just got more and more mean about it.
Well, and Matt too.
And
she was like, she called him all sorts of names.
Classic sour grapes, you know.
And then, man, when Matt came back and her reaction was, she was like, "Yeah, I'll take the rose." All mopey, like, grow up.
I know.
He saved your ass.
She's so immature. Like,
yeah.
Grow up, man.
I'm so glad Daniel didn't pick her.
Yes.
Because I really thought for a minute there that's what was going to happen.
And the other thing is, I mean, seeing the previews, we all knew she was going to get saved somehow. Because there was that shot of Daniel that I love. Daniel saying that Jasmine's like a T-Rex, she'll rip your dick off.
Yeah.
And so they showed her making out with a bunch of dudes. And so there's no surprise there that she got saved. Not for a moment was I like, oh no, Matt's gone. Who's going to give a rose to Jasmine? Of course she's staying.
Yeah, of course she's staying.
Ugh.
Yuck. So at the end of it, you know, I liked Sarah this time around.
Yeah.
I kind of liked her during her season, too.
I felt bad for her. And it was so heartbreaking because she knew that, I think she knew deep down Adam was going to pick Raven. And she also, the way she, I guess, pitched herself to Adam, she said Raven's like mysterious and exciting, but like I'm a safer bet. And it's like, oh
yeah, you're kind of selling yourself short there.
But she's right in that long term, she probably is the better choice.
Yeah.
But sure enough, Adam and Dean are thinking with their D's.
I'm bouncing all over the place on Raven. One minute I'm like, oh, I love Raven, and then the next I'm like, I don't know about Raven.
I know. Well, maybe that's why some guys find her so intriguing, because he can't really pin her down. I don't know.
Well, that's kind of what Sarah was talking about.
That's what I mean.
Sarah was like, you know everything about me, but
and this
Raven's
is the same
mysterious.
with, we'll get to it, but this is the same with Dean and D'Lo and Christina. Like, D'Lo is the mysterious, sexy choice, and Christina, like, I think Christina is equally hot, but she is the safer one, and Dean knows her better, and he has more of an emotional connection with her.
Yeah,
so.
Dean, I also have a love-hate relationship with Dean, unfortunately.
I know.
I mean, it's mostly love, but
his Bachelor shot is gone.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
We also mentioned, there's a rumor going around that it's more or less a foregone conclusion that Peter's going to be the next guy, which we predicted last week. Not that it was that hard, but yeah, that seems like the obvious choice
Peter.
at this point.
If it's not Peter, I will eat my hat.
It's such an easy arc for them to create next time. Like, well, he didn't want to propose next time. And then the whole season, it'll be a tease. Like, will he propose or won't he? And of course he will.
Who's going to break down those walls?
So
and it'll be the hottest one that you see on the first night.
Yeah. Now, I wasn't super jazzed about Tickle Monster coming in here.
No.
But man, he really turned me around.
Yeah.
He tickled his way into my heart.
I wouldn't go that far, but he seems like a fun, goofy guy. And I gotta say, he and Kristen make such a good couple to me.
Great couple. They're both goofy. They get each other's sense of humor. They're both kind of like, I don't want to say dumb because they're both not dumb, but you know, like.
And again, we got
I guess that's what the goofy thing
Kristen choosing between Tickle Monster, who's the safer choice, and Jack Stone, who I think is also safe, but comparatively is the more like sexy, mysterious guy.
Before this episode, you were like, I'm kind of coming around on Jack Stone, but by the end of this week, I'm back to thinking he's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Even though I felt bad for him when Alexis tried to feed him that dead crab, which was kind of bullshit. That showed another side of Alexis. It was like, really?
I could see her maybe being a mean girl in high school. Maybe. Yeah. I'm jumping to conclusions here, but
the dead crab thing was silly, but don't, like, the guy's having fun and participating in the game. Don't feed him a
like
dead
it should have
crab.
stopped. Like the dipping some sour candy in hot sauce. That's where it should have ended. Like that's gross, but it's edible.
Yeah. Also, though, Stone took that a little too seriously. Like he could have taken off the blindfold at any time, and be like, "Oh, okay, I'm done."
Yeah.
But he was like deeply offended.
Jack Stone.
I don't know about Jack Stone. So Tickle Monster comes in. Everyone's talking about how he's more attractive in person, which I guess I could see.
It's a backhanded compliment for sure.
They also all know he's a doctor, which is a big...
Oh, how many times did Kristen mention he was a doctor?
A lot of times.
I'd say 100.
A lot of times. And while this was going on, too, Daniel had to choose his date.
Oh, yeah.
He left Lacey in suspense, but eventually he did pick Lacey, thankfully. They actually do make a pretty good couple, I gotta admit.
I don't know about that.
In terms of paradise. So then we had kind of simultaneous dates.
Yeah?
Kristen and Tickle Monster and Daniel and Lacey, the latter of which was actually like a fun, more Bachelor style date where they got to wrestle.
Mm-hmm. That was fun, I guess. Again, I just checked out. Like, I was just so bored.
They were both perfect for it, and I wish they had shown more almost, because it looked like in the ring they were doing pretty well. Like, they must have had to have some extensive instruction.
Yeah, probably.
And they didn't show any of that.
Oh, they showed like, 2 seconds of that date.
If you don't have time to fill these episodes, just show more of the dates.
Exactly. I don't need Wells talking, like, using puppets. Enough with that.
Well, you're going to be seeing more of that again.
I know.
But, yeah, Tickle Monster and Kristen's date also went well. They had a really good chat. And, well, even before that, Tickle planted that early kiss on her right when he met her.
Yeah.
And I think everyone's pretty impressed on
She kept saying, other than the fact that he's a doctor, that she really liked his confidence. And I have to agree. Like, he was confident in a non-creepy way.
And in this paradise situation, I think you got to be that way.
You do.
And I mean, obviously Daniel's got it. He's transformed from the Canadian
He's got
eagle.
too much of it, I think.
Yeah, he's transformed from the eagle into the wolf because he realized most people are sheep and wolves can do whatever they want.
Yep, sure, buddy.
He's kind of done so far, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Also happening at this time was Dean and Christina, which sort of this was kind of became the main story of the week almost.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to feel bad for Christina.
Oh,
Everyone's hating Dean, and D'Lo's not really getting much heat at all because it's not really
it's
her fault.
not her fault. It's Dean. Like, I guess if Christina were D'Lo were a really good-hearted person, she would be like, "Look, Dean, it's not cool how you're stringing us both along. I'm not going to talk to you until you make a choice."
Yeah, he's been real bad, and the fact that they seemingly banged because Christina implied that.
Oh, they did.
So they banged. Then they hung out by the pool. Then Dean just ditched her. And
he had to choose between them in the rose ceremony, and he chose her. So,
yeah.
Not to say that's, written in stone, but it seems like a pretty good indicator that he's made his decision. And I think he seems to think that, because he has been upfront with her in that he likes D'Lo too.
Yeah,
but he seems to think that that's enough.
Yeah,
I told you, so I can continue to string both of you along. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you got to back it up by action.
You got to make a fucking decision.
You can't be tender with someone 1 minute and then jump in with the other. Like, you can't.
And it's like, I think whatever guy he was talking to about this dilemma, I think he was the most honest. He's like, Christina, I know I would regret it if I went with D'Lo, and Christina and I have a really great connection, and we spent all this time together, but D'Lo's so fucking hot. That's what he said. And it was like, well, there you go. That's the dilemma.
Yeah, it's been pretty disappointing because I love Christina.
Yeah. And D'Lo, whatever. I'm
pretty surprised Christina hasn't left yet, really.
She should. She really should.
Maybe it'll be next week, because I can't really see her falling for anyone else.
No.
And is Dean, the twins are coming in next week,
and the twins,
Dean's gonna go.
One of them want him bad, so.
Maybe that'll finally be it. Well, so the girls have the roses next time, right?
Yeah.
So obviously Dean makes it. Well, he's got 2 people, either Christina or D'Lo will pick them, so. Yeah. Ugh.
Come on, Dean. We love you. Grow up.
Yeah, he's got some growing up to do big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Oh, well. I think that was pretty much the end.
Yeah.
I'm sure we missed some details, but I can't stress enough how uninteresting this season has been for the most part.
Such a slog. I mean, we want to give you guys good episodes. We hope we do, but this was a real rough week.
They should almost weave in more elements of Bachelor Pad and get them to do silly games.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, have more twists, and encourage people to hook up more. There's got to be some way to change the format.
Stop pushing the get engaged romance
That's
angle.
the biggest problem.
Yeah.
And now we're stuck, why do I want to watch Derek and Taylor through this?
Yeah, it's just
boring.
It's so boring. All they do is show them, canoodling.
And it should be, once they couple up like that, they should be able to decide, we're going to go to, you should have the option, and I think you do later, I don't really remember, but maybe they should get to the fantasy suite earlier, and we just check in with them a couple minutes each time.
I think that next week they alluded to that they get their fantasy suite date, but if Dean and Christina already banged, then what does the fantasy suite even matter?
It doesn't matter. It's just a bigger bed.
Well, I guess they get to be away from the cameras. I don't know.
Yeah.
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 Whatever.
Well, we were then whisked away to studio, Chris Harrison, following the same format of last week, unfortunately, where we started with a panel of Paradise cast members. This time, who was it?
Wells. He talked about his
Wells,
thing
Alexis,
with Maltby.
Alexis, I don't know if she said anything. I'm pretty sure we fast forward some of this. Who else was there? I don't even remember.
Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It offered zero insight into anything. Wells talked about Maltby and how no one had seen it and blah, 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 blah. I was offended that they even showed this on TV.
It was...
And I was even more offended when they trotted out Jasmine and Matt as if this was some hard-hitting interview that we were all waiting for.
Who gives a shit?
They must... Okay, 10-day shooting schedule. They knew each other for maybe, 5 days max?
Well,
Something?
they were both...
Oh, they were originals, right?
They're originals, so they would have had probably a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks tops, let's say. 3 weeks.
I feel so bad for Matt.
I
And
know.
also during the interview, they kept interrupting him. He couldn't get a word in. And Jasmine was painting him as this horrible guy.
Ugh, I'm just so mad. I'm so frustrated with how shitty this season has been and how they're just giving us all this crap. And they should have just not done it.
Well, we definitely fast forwarded the Jasmine Matt thing because
yeah.
it has no bearing on anything.
No.
They were not, I would not call them a power couple.
Nope.
The breakup was only because of Jasmine went nuts. I think Matt pulled shoot right at the right time.
Oh,
But
absolutely. Great decision.
it was then time for the main event, the interview with Corinne Olympios.
Yep.
The Greco-American heiress to a garage paving company in Florida.
I forgot what the
Miami.
company was.
Which obviously she doesn't work for anymore because she talked about living in LA and having her mom visit her. So
And
that's all
she
fucking
had a
sham.
boyfriend the whole time, P.S.
Yeah. So needless to say, the interview revealed next to nothing and didn't explain anything.
No, we just got vagaries about how she was on medication. For what? She doesn't have to say, but it just makes it sound like, ugh.
Well, even still, here's the thing. Medication, so the whole thing is she was on meds. She drank with them before, but this time she blacked
She had
out.
a different kind or something.
She claimed she didn't remember anything,
But she
acted
seemed
like
fine.
herself. Now, I mean, the people on the show must know she's on medication, right?
Yeah, if you do anything where your life could be at risk or you could get sued, you have to fill out forms and let everyone know everything about your medical history.
The fact remains, they still overserved her.
Of course they did.
And yeah, the fact that she was blackout drunk and not herself, there's still a consent issue there.
Of course. I think the reason why, the third party who was investigating this found no wrongdoing is because Corinne was willing to say, hey, I'm cool with this. It's fine.
Well, then, Corinne's description of the aftermath, I didn't think it really made sense either.
No.
Because she said she woke up, and I forget her wording. She was like, and then she said, I didn't understand. And then later, she said that when they approached them about the thing getting shut down, it was a total shock.
Yeah.
So if she had realized what happened, which is what I took from the I don't understand thing, then why did it come as a shock? There's just so many unanswered questions.
Of
They
course.
didn't address her statement about her being a victim, which
No.
they teased all week long. That didn't even come up.
No.
Just a lot of gray area. Basically, it just came down to give it, what do you call it? I don't know. Giving DeMario back his name? Because Harrison asked her 9 times, but what about DeMario? How do you feel about
Didn't
DeMario?
ask, how did you feel about being slut-shamed?
They didn't ask her at all how she felt.
No.
Nor did they ever really explain. They kept saying, and then everybody knows what happened. It's
No, we
didn't know.
don't.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. We don't know.
There was
Ugh.
some talk, and I agree with this, on the net today, on the internet, about how this really makes it seem like ABC just paid them hush money.
Yeah, it does seem like that. Because if Corinne was quote unquote blacked out, even though she seemed okay, she could not have given consent.
Yeah.
But maybe she made her peace with it with hush money. I don't know.
Never was Harrison being I'm so sorry what happened.
No!
It was just well, what about DeMario?
It's such a shame DeMario's name got dragged through the mud. Oh yeah, that's the biggest tragedy of this whole thing. Fuck that. That makes me so mad.
Yeah, it was bad. It really, after this, I thought that this whole thing up to this point, it took them a while to finally get Corinne up there, but I thought we'd be okay, we can move along. Everything's clear now. Whatever, this was a fuck up. let's have some fun.
Yeah.
But this almost makes it ickier.
It does. And like I said, I would love nothing more than to stop watching this. But
Deep. That's deep.
ugh.
Yeah, and I still wonder if eventually the truth will come out. Like, a lot of people today were saying, well, if nothing went wrong, why are you dragging Corinne and DeMario's names through the mud? Where's this producer who totally fucked them over if nothing happened?
There's something super fishy about this still.
And only, yeah. Yeah, and then you can't help but go back to the other cast members who were like, nothing was bad.
Yeah.
But if Corinne says she doesn't remember anything and was blacked out, that's a problem.
That should be reason
huge
enough
problem, yeah.
to not continue with the show. Like,
Yeah.
how can they have her say that publicly and still be okay with everything?
Because
That just
she
boggles my
kept
mind.
being like, it's weird that I was blacked out, but I was still myself. Like that's
what?
weird. That never happens. Like, yeah. That's what being blacked out is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'm getting angrier and angrier, and we're not going to get any more details, I guess, so...
No, and I'm wondering also, are they going to keep doing the studio bullshit next week?
Better not.
I got a feeling they will, now that they've done it
Yeah,
each
they'll
time.
probably bring, like, fucking Dean and Christina and
Yeah, that's probably what
D'Lo
it'll
and
be.
talk about
It'll be
all the
another-
shit that's been happening there.
Yeah, it'll be another 4 people talking about bullshit that we've already known about, and then that.
Yeah.
Also, when they... oh, sorry, this is just making me so mad. But when they're like, let's take a look at what DeMario said last week. We already saw that.
Ugh, they just wanted to watch her watch
You're
it.
wasting precious seconds where we could really get down to what happened here. But, oh my
Except they
God,
won't
this is-
ever tell us the truth, so
Yeah.
why not fill it with all this bullshit?
It's pretty frustrating, gotta
Yep.
admit. So who knows what's gonna happen next week? I hope it's just Paradise. Maybe the twins are fun. Maybe they'll inject something into it. Maybe we'll get back to something resembling Bachelor in Paradise.
Yep.
I don't know though.
My hopes are not high.
Me neither. So we've got 2 more episodes next week, and then I think there's 1 more because I think they said there was 9 total.
9, yeah. So next week or 2 more weeks, and then
So we've been talking about power rankings, or we've been trying to.
Yeah.
Andy started it off. Let's try to come up with our power ranking now. We have the list in front of us. We haven't pre-thought about this,
No.
so let's hope this won't be sloppy. We're going to try to do this as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So looking through this, who's your number 1 right now? I think looking at everything that's happened, it's hard to just put Taylor and Derek at 1
they're almost
and
in
2.
their own category.
Yeah.
I think we said this last week,
Okay,
but just
yeah.
because they're coupled up and they're not in the mix. So I'd put them in the top tier, but not necessarily number 1. I still say Raven.
Yeah, Raven still seems to be running
Because she also, exactly, like, Adam chose her, and also she's, like, the spokesperson for a lot of people.
Yeah, and if God forbid something happens between Adam and Raven, somebody will be there to pick up
Zorn will
Raven.
be there in 2 seconds.
Yeah,
like,
so I think you do got to put Raven up top.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you put my number 2 is either Adam or Amanda.
I was
'cause
gonna
Adam
say
is almost
that.
the female Raven. Everyone seems to love
everyone
him.
loves them, and if Raven for some reason falls apart, there's gonna be at least one other woman who's gonna
Right.
get in there.
So we'll go Raven, Adam. I'm gonna put Amanda next for me.
Because everyone loves her.
She can seem to do no wrong. I don't want to put Robbie that high. 'Cause I
No.
don't think he's that strong.
I'm mad at Dean, but I gotta put him pretty high because ladies love him.
You know what? I think I might put Ben Zorn ahead.
Really?
Just because he also can seem to do no wrong, and everyone loves him so much that it's like
That's true.
he'll just keep getting those sympathy roses.
Okay, so Zorn, then, well, what about Christina?
I don't know. I think just because of how she's being treated, she's down in the
Yeah.
rankings.
But I could see someone like Zorn saving her, if need be.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's tough to say.
I'll throw my boy Daniel up top there.
For now, he's in a power position, but like what happened last time, I feel like he'll swoop in there and then no one will really want to take him seriously. Except
be.
Lacey.
Then maybe I'll put Kristen, Tickle Monster, and then at the bottom, I got
D'Lo's up there too.
Yeah,
like
can't
Zorn
forget about
saved
D'Lo.
her.
And she hasn't seen much screen time. It's
No.
been weird.
But like the fact that Zorn saved her and he didn't have to, that speaks volumes.
And I wish there weren't as many couples as there are because I want to see more people pursuing people like D'Lo because she's obviously a hot commodity on the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to put Jack Stone way at the bottom. He's singing like a stone in my mind. I think his time's coming to a close.
What about Diggy and Dominique?
Diggy and Dominique, somewhere middle. I'd put them after Tickle and Kristen just because they haven't had much action. Again, we got to see Diggy without his glasses on, baby.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I feel like
I think
we
that's pretty
covered
fair.
everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
But man, I'm just, that talk.
We're
Corinne.
very mad at
We
this
are
show.
very upset. Very mad at you, ABC and Chris Harrison, by extension.
You're in big trouble.
It just sucks because, it's working for them. We're talking about it
I
on a
know.
podcast. We're giving them free promotion
They're
right
getting
now.
so much press out of this, and it's just...
Everyone seems to be relatively satisfied, like at least media-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, people are talking on social media about how stupid it is, but
Us fans are upset.
Yeah.
But yeah, the media more or less has calmed down about
And
it.
I still think that thing where Corinne said that the statement, I think she mentioned, I don't remember where this was, but when she said she was a victim in her lawyer's statement, she meant a victim of the media.
I
don't buy
read that. Like, it had nothing to do with DeMario. It was just about how it was painted in the media. It's like, yet again, I know there's more to it than that.
It's all very fucked up.
Yeah.
But if you happen to have some weird kind of insider tip, like you're listening and you happen to be Corinne's cousin or something, send us an email, thebachelorpod@gmail.com. We'll keep you anonymous.
Yeah. Any tips? We would love it.
I don't know if we're going to actually get tips.
Yeah,
I don't think we
probably
have
not.
that kind of reach.
But hey, doesn't hurt to put that out there.
In any case, we should be hearing about Peter pretty soon. Reality Steve is saying it's coming up quick.
Yeah, to the shock of no one, it's probably going to be Peter. So.
Which is really boring.
Yep.
Ugh,
He's a hot guy. I don't mind watching him for 8 weeks or whatever it is, but he's so boring.
Yeah. So, in the meantime, hit us up on all that stuff. Twitter. I'm not going to be able to add our usual thing at the end because I don't have the files. Hit us up at Twitter at The Bachelor Pod. Send us an email, thebachelorpod@gmail.com. Our podcasts are on YouTube, but if you're listening to this, you're either on YouTube or in iTunes and you don't need it. And check us out on Patreon, where you can toss a buck or two because we do this for free every time.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
It'd be cute if you did.
It'd be real cute. Liv would really like it.
I would think that would be so cute.
Yeah, so check out all that stuff. We love getting mail and mentions and messages. We love chatting with you guys. To our Patreons who exist already, we got a hangout coming up soon.
Yeah.
We'll let you know what's up with that. And you know what? Just stay strong out there, Bachelor Nation.
Yep.
We'll get through this together.
We will. We're all in this together. We love you.
Next week, we do love you. Next week, we might be taking a vacation. Andy and Sarah might be doing a solo.
Yeah,
so we're
switch it up. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, have a good time. Stay safe out there. Goodbye.
Bye.